So when I say the third time's a charm, what I meant is I have recorded this video. This is my third time. And the first time, I had no mic on. The second time, I put the mics on, but they weren't on. So now I have the mics on and I'm ready to roll. And let's hope it works. Hello and welcome in, my friends. I hope you're all well, and I thank you very much, and I'm grateful that you're all here. And if you are new here, my name is Debbie. I am also known as Nana, and I'm here in my craft room, and this channel is called Dream Crafter Creations. And this is a little place in my world where I like to just chat with a community of people who love fiber arts like I do. So if that's what you like, I hope you'll stay till the end. I hope you'll subscribe, and please give me some comments and chat with me. Today, third time's a charm, what I wanted to talk about was the Greater Boston Yarn Crawl, which started yesterday. And I did start yesterday. It was a pouring rainy day here in New England, and I had to go do some errands out in a certain area, and I decided I would try to stop by two of the places that are participating in the yarn crawl. So the first place I stopped was Elise's Creative Warehouse. Which is in Newton, Massachusetts. And I hadn't been there in a really long time, and I really like Elise. I used to go to that store, but I don't live in that area anymore. So it's really not a store I go to very often. And at this point, a lot of stuff is online, and I have joined another knit group over in Weston, Mass. And so yeah, so it was nice to see her again. And when I walked in there, I met this lovely lady who was sitting down, and she was micro-crocheting earrings, which I've seen on the internet, and I always thought I wanted to give it a try. So she asked me to sit down if I wanted to sit down and try it. So I did. And what we were making is, well, first of all, these are the passports, and you have to go in to each of the stores and have them sign the passport. And basically, by visiting the Greater Boston Yarn Crawl shops to get your passport stamped by each of them and check their prize baskets. At the end of the crawl, drop off your passport at the shop with your favorite basket to be entered in the drawing by October 15th. The drawing for grand prizes is on October 31st. Any passport with 12 to 15 stamps is eligible for the $450 gift card prize. 9 to 11 stamps, you'll get $225 gift card prize, and 6 to 8 stamps make you eligible for a $150 gift card. Well, these stores are pretty much spread out, and I would love to visit each and every one of them, but life gets in the way. Today, I really planned on going out and visiting some of these stores, and so I'm going to kind of cut into the crawl talk right now. And this is what happens a lot with me making YouTube videos as well. My life gets in the way. Everyone has a busy life, and things come up, and you can't video when you'd like to, or you can't participate in the Boston Yarn Crawl the way you'd like. So I did go to two stores yesterday, which I'll talk about in a minute. But after the two stores, I had to get home to babysit my grandchildren so my daughter could go to her school night, which was fine. However, in between, I found out that my refrigerator freezer broke. So right after the visiting the second store, I had to run home up and down these stairs because I have a second refrigerator, which I'm very grateful for, save some of the food, and 3 garbage bags fulls went out into the trash. So by the time I got to babysitting, I was exhausted, but I was able to work on some of my yarn crawl shawl, the candy shop that I will show you, and just sit and relax with the kids and watch Alice in Wonderland. So in any event, I had the refrigerator technician come today, so sometimes good things come out of bad, and I was able to sit and finish my candy shop, not finish, 80% done the candy shop shawl today, and I will show you where I'm at, but I do plan on finishing it tonight. So anyways, that was my story of woe, which wasn't so woe. It turned out okay because I got a lot of knitting time. But the 2 stores I visited was Elise's Creative Warehouse. She gave out this little pin because I had been working on the candy shop shawl, and she gave me 15% off and a little tapestry needle, which will come in very handy here. But I walked in and there was the lovely lady doing the micro crochet, which is these earrings I have on, and I'm going to see. Maybe I'll just take it off for you to see. And I just think these are magnificent. So I did get a pair, and you just donated whatever you felt. And that's what I did. But I sat there for about an hour, and all I could get done was this, and I'll explain to you why. This is done with embroidery thread, 3 strands, and it was a one crochet hook, which is like teeny weeny. But I myself, when I knit or do a craft, I like to have my naked eye because I can see very well close up with it. And I had my contacts on with glass with my readers, and she did give me a magnifying glass, but it was small and my hands couldn't fit under it well. So I just wasn't in the correct setup to do this the way I would have liked to do it. So I will continue and I will make more because I've always been, looking at these online and wanted to make some, and now I tried it and I liked it. So that I went to her store, I came out, and the next store that would be pretty much on the route was Needham, the Black Sheep knitting store. And so I did make my way there, and the first thing I saw when I walked in was the Lifelines shawl by Erica, a friend of mine, and she is Knit Kind. I'm going to link her podcast below, and on her podcast you'll be able to find out all about her shawl. And I'm going to put a picture right here so you can see it. I walked in and this is what I saw. And last week's video, I showed you all types of yarn that I got at the Boston Fiber Festival. And I have plenty, and I'm going to do Erica's shawl. So you will see that up and coming soon. I'm not sure of the colors I'm going to use. It'll be a surprise. But Black Sheep Knitting really didn't have much else going on. She told me she was behind. She didn't have her basket. And here is the basket from Elise's warehouse. She did have a basket made up. But the Black Sheep Knitting, I don't know what their basket is yet. I could maybe stop by tomorrow and see what it is, but I don't know yet. And, today was the day I was going to go to a bunch of stores, but being stuck here waiting for the refrigerator repair guy. And I also picked up my granddaughter Alice from school because she called me this morning and asked me, and of course I would never say no to that she asked me to pick her up. So we just came back from Paint Your Pottery place. We went to the grocery store and we got some sticker books that she'll do with Nono, and he should be home soon. So we had a pretty fun-filled afternoon. But let me show you the candy shop shawl and how far I've come on it. Here it is. It is 80% done. It definitely is. And I do plan on finishing it tonight. This is a nice palette cleansing knit. And if you've watched a lot of my most recent videos, and I'm a newbie here, I don't have a lot of videos, so you'll know that I love a lot of color work. And the present sweater I'm doing, the vintage flannel, I haven't worked much more on it since the last video, but this is really something nice to do, just a garter stitch, you know, at night when you really don't want to think much anymore. And it really is a nice staple for a lot of different outfits. And the yarn I used, is this Deep Plum. I really can't tell you the name of it unless you want to go back in last week's video if you're really interested. Other than that, I use this pretty, and it just reminds me of watercolors. And this is Yarnosaurus Fibers. There's the label. I got this in my twice shared sheet mystery box for September. And it's a Bronto DK. It's 85% superwash merino, 5% nylon. And I just ripped it apart, 946 yards. So basically, this shawl is a really good, you know, for, you know, when you buy that 1 or 2 skeins of yarn at a festival that you just love the colors, but you're not quite sure what to do with it. I really think this is a great pattern for that. And I myself have a lot of those skeins. So when I'm just in the mood to knit, that's what I'm gonna do, is use this. And I also was watching an Andrea Mowry video podcast this morning, and she was showing a bunch of shawls. And you know, I love to do sweaters, and I want sweaters in my wardrobe, but I just find it's really a time issue. I'm not a really fast knitter. I wish I was. I wish I had the time, but I think I'm going to do a lot of shawls. I really think they'll be very useful. But other than that, the other shawl on my plate is the Steven West MKAL coming up. I've never done one. I'm really excited about it, and I want to reveal my yarn color choices with you right now. So here they are. From the Unruly Stitch, Anu has dyed her own yarns and put together packages, and I picked out a very pink package. And the first color is, it says the base is Flash Dance. It's Pink Forever, 85% Southwest Merino, 15% Neon Donegal. And it's 100 grams, 437 yards. So this is the first color. And the second color is base is Luxe. It's Ballerina. It's 80% extra fine SW Merino. It is 10% cashmere and 10% nylon, 100 grams, 437 yards. And it is beautiful. So far we have these 2 pinks. Okay. And then I even have my pink bag from her shop to put everything in. Then I have, this is beautiful. Look, beautiful. Base is Twinkle Silver and the color is Bells and Shells. It's 95% SW Merino, 20% nylon, no, 75% SW Merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. 100 grams, 438 yards. And don't mind me, it's like I said, it's hard for me to even see with readers on sometimes, but that doesn't mean anything. So, and then there's a dark pink with the neon in it. This is going to be lovely. I just can't wait to make this. Flash Dance is the base, 80s pink, which is right in my era, and 85% Southwest Merino, 15% Donegal, and Donegal neon. Again, 437 yards. So here we go. These are my 4 colors revealed to you for my Steven West MKAL, first one ever. And there is a little bonus that he is going to suggest, and that is with a mohair. This is Voilette, Princess, and Tutu. And there's the label, so you can just see exactly what it is. And it's a beautiful pink. I'm not sure which one I'll do it with. I mean, it could be this one. It has like a gold thread going through it. Or it could be this one. I think it'll be either one of these. I don't think I'll do it through the neon. But this is my package. This is what I'm doing for the MKAL. It's starting October 10th, I believe. And I'm very excited. So stay tuned for that. And as far as anything else, you may be wondering what's behind me today. And today I have a finished quilt top that I started 2 years ago. And the fabric, I believe, was called Retro Kitty. And in each one of these squares, and I'm going to take a picture and put it up here, it's a very retro kitty in a pumpkin picture. And all these different fabrics are very retro looking. And I had even, a couple of years ago, made a pumpkin that with the same fabric. So here, I think you'll be able to see, the fabrics. These are the fabrics that were used, plaids and candy corns and retro flowers and moons and stars and, even more. But this is my decoration in my house that I use now. And as soon as I figure out the back and we get it together and we quilt it and bind it, I will have a Halloween quilt. I don't have a Halloween quilt. I do have a fall quilt. But so I'm really happy about this. And excuse me. Let me explain to you a little bit about this quilt in the making. I did an easy piece and grid by 10 Sisters. 6 panels, 2 inches finished. Cut squares were 2.5 inches. And I believe it's a 54-inch by 56-inch. And this is the pattern. And, well, this is the easy piece and grid 6 panel. This is what comes in the package. And if you don't know anything about the grid, what you do is you have this, it's like a interfacing material, and it's a grid. It's just like that. And you cut out all your pieces in squares. So this is a 2-inch, this is the 2-inch finished. So all my squares I cut out 2.5 inch. So it's a lot of work. And this reminds me of a trip around the world. And I always wanted to do one, but when I found this grid, I thought it would be a lot easier. It wasn't hard. It was time consuming, and I had to cut out, as you can see, many, many squares. And the thing about the grid, which was so nice, is I could put the grid down on the ground and I could put the squares however I wanted them. You don't have to do a trip around the world. You could do anything that you'd like, but you put the squares down and then use a little bit of, it's like a glue stick to glue them down. And then you have to sew it in a certain way and do a little cutting on some of the in between the squares and sew it another way. And there's a lot of ironing involved, but in any, the thing I like about it is everything is so crisp. The corners match. Everything is perfect. And I don't think I could have had it perfect on my own. So, if you're interested in doing something like this, I highly recommend it. I did get their Quilts for Kids book, which this book, if you can see, she has a lot of patterns in here. Here's the back. She has a fox. So you can do anything on this grid, anything. And she's just so much. All these quilts were done on her grid. So I did quilting for a few years. I was going to a group right outside of my town, and I learned to quilt, and I kind of got the bug, just like I did with the knitting. So, there's a lot of things I do. And when I talk about life getting in the way, a lot of my quilts have been put on hold because I got the knitting bug back and I really wanted to get into knitting again. So sometimes, like I said, I'm all over the road, and that's how I roll, but I like to do it all. And if you've stayed with me this long and you like to do it all, please subscribe. I have lots to show you and lots to suggest. And if you have stayed this long and you like what you see, again, please subscribe. But that's all for now. I don't really have much more to say, except I hope to come back, every week and show you something that I'm working on or doing. And now that I'm doing the Steven West MKAL, that has a weekly clue, I should be able to come back to you with some news, some knitting news. So for now, I do plan on going and doing the knitting crawl, Boston Greater Yarn Store knitting crawl. What is it called? I don't know why. It's my age. I can't remember anything. Greater Boston Yarn Crawl. I do plan on doing that tomorrow. If I don't get this up today, Friday, I'll include what I do tomorrow and definitely have everything up by Sunday. It's a pretty busy weekend for me, but I will try to do it. And I also, like I told you, I picked up Alice from school, and she was so good to make some pictures for me, and I'm going to put them up here at the end. So until next time, bye.